So now let's look at a curriculum example, and this is actually from a teacher lesson plan where a teacher was wanting students to identify the properties of a bar graph. After the class builds a bar graph, the teacher asks the following question. So the first question the teacher asks is, what do you notice here? Now take a look at this bar graph, and you can see here the different months and so on. What do you notice here is a really poor question because it's not linked to student ability whatsoever. I don't actually know what students noticed or anything like that. I'm just sort of guessing students can give me some information that might be useful. It's not really matched to their ability. I don't actually know what they know, especially because my goal here is to identify the properties of bar graph. I'm not getting to that. I'm just asking them what they notice. Second question, do you notice any groups larger than the others? This isn't really matched to student ability, not for the same reason, no. Think about the answer to this question. What is the answer to that question? The answer to that question is yes, unless every bar graph is exactly the same height. So it doesn't actually make sense to ask that question. It's not matched student ability because it's really sort of just a strange question that anyone could answer with a yes or no question. Do you notice the largest group? Again, yes, we could say we can notice the larger group here. That's not getting at the objective, and presumably this is a third grade class we're talking about here. And in this lesson, students are most likely going to notice the largest group. So that one isn't very good either. And then what else? And what else is sort of like, that's not matched student ability at all. We don't even know, it's not even a question anyway. So these are all bad questions. And the truth is that they are all bad questions that I wrote. This is from a lesson that I did when I was a teacher, and I wrote these questions in my lesson plan, which I resurrected just for this purpose to illustrate how bad it was. And you can see here that my questions were not going to relate to student ability because I asked questions that are either vague, like the first and the last, or that weren't reflective of what students would know previously or what I want them to get out of the lesson. I'm just sort of asking these general questions that aren't helpful and maybe have really simple or strange answers. So for that reason, that's not a good example.